Yes, hello, we are live. Hello there, everyone, and welcome to Indie Author Fringe Book Expo 2017. Hi, Jay. Hi, David.
Hi, Orna.
Good morning.
And hello, everyone. We are the Indie Author Fringe team, and we're delighted to be welcoming you to our second conference of this year. We run these 3 times a year, Fringe to the London Book Fair, BookExpo, which used to be called BookExpo America, and nobody's quite sure what to call it at the moment, and Frankfurt Book Fair in October. And the idea is that these are the 3 major publishing book fairs in the world, and unfortunately their coverage of indie author events and self-publishing issues and education advice, etc., isn't quite what it could be. And so we fill that gap by bringing a free online author conference to you 3 times a year, bringing essentially the best of what is there to indies all around the world, and also filling in the kind of author education that we think should be available at the fairs but isn't as yet, and maybe in time. However, it seems we're going backwards instead of forwards, because BookExpo has decided to completely cut its self-publishing coverage this year. And so ALLi normally attends the conference to bring live coverage. As a gesture of boycott, we have decided not to attend this year because we just cannot understand this decision of theirs to step backwards, essentially, from the most forward-moving movement in publishing. But we do have some live coverage from the fair because our gold sponsor, Ingram Spark, has stepped into the breach. And with Publishers Weekly, a magazine I'm sure is familiar to all of you, the publishing trade magazine in the US, they are running Indie Author 101 at the Ingram stand. So if you are listening from BookCon today at BookExpo, you can go along to the Ingram stand and get some live action there this afternoon. We will be bringing the book promotion and book marketing events straight to you here, so they're seen by everybody around the world, because that's our theme this time. So David Penny is the man who gets to see everything before it goes live. Jay and I see some of it. So David, what are your highlights? What do you think is really, I know you said already there's a lot of really good material there, but do you have any standouts?
I do, yeah. One of the things that I'll mention a couple of the ones that I thought were particularly good as we go through. But what I really felt this time is we've nailed the remit of what the conference is going to be about, which is marketing. You know, it's the one thing that all authors want to know about. I've written a great book, or I've written 20 great books. How on earth am I going to actually get these in the hands of the readers? And I think we've got a lot of material this particular time that has really targeted that topic.
It's really targeted, and it changes, doesn't it, Jay? I mean, it's completely different book marketing now than when we first did Fringe a few years ago.
Yeah, there's lots of different elements, and it's good to see that so many of them are being covered in the Fringe today. One of the ones that I'm looking forward to is Chris Well. He's going to tell us how to put a stunning media kit together, which is something that I think lots of authors overlook, but I think is so foundational, because there's just so many things that you need to focus on, you know, your website, your social media, and, you know, your book blurbs. There's so many elements that are important for marketing and promoting your book. So I think it's this conference has got like all the elements that you need to give your book a good start in life.
Fantastic. What about your standouts, David?
Okay, well, there's 2 or 3 there's several that stand out, but the one I liked in particular is the one from ALLi Devji, who Stop Wasting Time and Money on Book Marketing That Doesn't Work, which is exactly what I think most people, particularly when they're starting to market, they really need something like that, because there's so much that you get inundated with over what you're supposed to be doing. And you can spend, it could be a huge sink of both time and money. So he's got quite a nice little list of, you know, what you shouldn't be doing as opposed to what you should be doing, which is usually a better thing than knowing what you should be doing. Absolutely. So I like that. And then I shouldn't mention one of us three, but I do love Jay's piece on memoirs, because it's talking about non-fiction, and it's got 3 different people in there, and they're all very good. So it's a really really entertaining piece. I enjoyed that one immensely.
A memoir is a hugely popular genre and becoming more and more popular, and we know that. And of course, non-fiction is really taking off now in self-publishing in a big way. So very often conferences focus on writing and talk about books as if all books are fiction. So so that's great. I'm really looking forward to that one too. Anything else?
There's a lot, but I mean, the Michael Laron piece is nice, just because he presents it so beautifully. It's really nice to hear somebody talk about poetry as well as all of the other stuff that we hear about all the time. You know, so it's fairly niche subject, but he's got some great ideas on how you can actually market and sell your poetry in the digital era. That's a good one.
Yeah, and I guess if there's one kind of lesson that I'd love people to take away from today, it is that there is no genre outside of the marketing and book promotional potential. So often we hear people talk about you can't market poetry, you can't market literary fiction, or, you know, insert a genre here. Every single genre is marketable. But it is very much about what ALLi was talking about, and what some of our other speakers talk about, completely about, you know, thinking very clearly about your reader and what your reader wants and where they go and how they search for books and what they look for. So coming outside the part of you that kind of wrote the book yourself and getting inside the author's head, I think that from the sessions that I have seen, that seems to be a recurring theme over and over and over.
Yeah, there are millions and millions and millions of readers out there, and there are millions and millions of readers of poetry. So it seems rather short-sighted for people, like you say, to say you cannot market poetry, because if there's readers out there, then there's a market for it.
That's what we believe, and we hope to convince you today. Okay, so I would just like to give a shout out to, as well as to our fabulous speakers, our sponsors, because without the generosity of our speakers and sponsors, we wouldn't have this conference. We wouldn't be able to keep it free for authors everywhere. So our gold sponsor again this year is Ingram Spark, and our silver sponsor for this conference is BookBaby, an all-in service for everything you need essentially to self-publish. They are based in the US, and our bronze sponsor is based in London. I Am Self-Publishing, also a package provider. And then we have our session sponsors, who some of them are producing their own sessions and some of them are sponsoring other people's sessions. We have Listen Up Indie Pub. They have a very interesting session on audio, and they are audio book providers. Self-Pub Book Covers, which a lot of you I know already use, are talking to us about how to put together a good cover, but also sponsoring our cover competition. And that competition is now closed. If you haven't got your cover in, unfortunately, it is too late now, but do go over and have a look at some of the covers that we have. We had a huge load of entries, didn't we?
About 580 in total, I was checking this morning.
So not easy for the judges, but we will be announcing on our closing session our winner, and Self-Pub Book Covers are providing a free professional book cover for the winner. And our final sponsor is Nielsen, who is no stranger to you, who is the ISBN provider and provider of many other services for self-publishers now, as well as the publishing industry. And they are sponsoring a session about a widget that they have produced called that they distribute on behalf of a German inventor who has done a case study and so on, and is kind of talking about this widget called Book to Look, which brings all of your material, your media kit and your samples and your cover and your blurbs, your reviews, everything together into one piece that is very easily downloadable by your reader and has buy links and so on embedded. So we're hearing good things about it, and we'd be interested to hear your feedback on that. So is there anything else we would like to say before we declare this fringe open?
So people that are new to Fringe, we've got a sticky post on the blog, which is gives you a roundup of how you can get the most out of your day. So there's 3 different ways that people can leave questions or feedback for speakers and sponsors. We've got our speaker and sponsor booth, and there's a link in the sidebar that lets people access that. So that's a consolidated, centralized place where you can leave any kind of questions or feedback about speakers or anything that you think is valuable from the sessions. And then there's 2 different ways that we can communicate is on Twitter, so using our hashtag Indie Author Fringe and using the speaker's Twitter handle, and you'll find their Twitter handle on each of their session pages. And then also we've opened up comments on each of these posts as well, so you can leave questions and comments there as well. So we really want to encourage people to give as much feedback as possible during the conference, so that we're having a conversation rather than just a broadcast. And then also on that newcomers post, the sponsors are offering different promotional deals and discounts, so they're all summarized on that post as well, so you can see how the conference doesn't cost you any money, and it can actually save you money on your books and production and editing and marketing tools, and if you've got an audio book, you can get money off audiobook production. So go there. That post is a really good centralized place to start the conference, especially if you're a newcomer.
And that will be at the top of the posts all day long. It's a sticky post, so if any time you're kind of wondering what to do next, you can just go back up there for reference. And just finally then to say that the conference is run in association with the Alliance of Independent Authors, and you are all very welcome to join and become a member of the Alliance if that is something you would like to do. We have 4 categories of membership and 3 author categories and a category for services as well. And we have lots of the Fringe is just one of the things we do. Is actually our outreach into the indie author community, but we have lots of member benefits as well, which you can check out on our website, allianceindependentauthors.org. Okay, so that's it. The conference officially gets going with our first session in 15 minutes time. So I've got to rush over there. So I will, we'll see you during the day on Twitter, in the comment box, in the sponsor booth. And yeah, I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you learn lots. Sessions will be there for you to refer back to, so you can attend the ones you know most, like today. We don't expect you to stay up for the next 24 hours looking at them all. They'll be there for you to refer back to over the next few days. So have a great conference, everybody, and enjoy.
Yeah, see you in 24 hours.